Hey everyone, Austin here again with a quick play. Today we're going to be playing some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis or Megadrive. This is a game that is loosely based on Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo, which it in of itself was based on an arcade game. This is an interesting one because it's a hybrid of sorts. You've got some levels from Turtles in Time, you've got some levels that are brand new and exclusive to this game. Some new boss fights that you do not have in Turtles in Time, but some boss fights that are in Turtles in Time. And it's just, like I said, an interesting hybrid. It's a great game. Highly recommend it if you have a Sega Genesis, although the actual cartridge these days is stupid expensive, so I would probably recommend going the flash cart route or doing something like what I'm doing right now and using the jailbreak on the Analogue Mega SG. So yes, we're actually not using the Mister today. We are using the Analogue Mega SG, so I'm using an original Sega Genesis controller right now. And yeah, this is good stuff here. The console and this game. So you got a bunch of different options here. We're going to go ahead and just leave it on the normal difficulty. I was actually just playing on hard mode last night. So that was kind of interesting. You've got back attack. That's kind of something that might be worth disabling, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it on just to show it off. And you can actually change the color of the characters. We're going to actually go with the comic style, because I think the last time I did this, I did the anime style, and that was like 5 or 6 years ago, but I digress. You do have a sound test menu, which is awesome. This game has kick-ass music. It's got a fantastic soundtrack, as does Turtles in Time on Super Nintendo. But yeah, this has a great soundtrack. So we've got different characters here, the 4 turtles. In the SNES game, they have slightly different properties, like Raph is like really fast and powerful in that one. I don't know if that's actually the case for Turtles in Time, not Turtles in Time, but Hyperstone Heist here. So I'm going to play as Don. I was actually playing as Raph last night, and I wasn't really noticing, like, you know, anything crazily different from the other turtles, but maybe I just hadn't played this in a while, and that's probably entirely the case. So but yeah, we have ourselves a little bit of an intro right here, and we're gonna get thrown right into the game pretty much right after this. So for anybody wondering about this, this is like a really casual gameplay series that I do. I've started more recently, where I just try to fire up a game, just try to play through it, see what we can do with it. And so don't expect like super expert play here or tons of like clever commentary. We're just gonna kind of like kick back, relax, and play this game. Part of the point of this series was to try to get you guys some extra content, and it seems like a lot of you guys have been enjoying these. So yeah. Alright, jumping right into stage 1. So, you've got the C button, which allows you to run. A button allows you to attack. B allows you to jump. And just like in a bunch of other Turtles games, depending on when you press attack in the air, you will do different attacks, which is nice. And you got the old trusty jump kick, kind of like in the old NES Turtles games and the arcade games. I like to primarily rely on my my regular attack as well as the run functionality. So if you press C in this game, you can run, and then if you press B and then A rapidly, you actually do this slide attack, which is insanely good. You're gonna see me doing this a lot. And worst case scenario in this game, if you're struggling with this game, just get into a rhythm where you're going back and forth with the slide, and you'll pretty much be good to go. Now, Turtles in Time on Super Nintendo did have run functionality, but it was a lot harder to activate and be consistent at. So one thing I really like about this version is that, you know, it's got a manual run button, which makes running really easy. Honestly, it almost makes it a little too easy, and I feel like when I play this versus Turtles in Time on Super Nintendo that I do have an easier time with this game because I have a lot more control over my running. And so one thing you'll also notice in this game is that there's typically only a maximum of 4 enemies on screen at once, and so things are a little limited in this game. It's a lot of like the same, you know, wait for 4 enemies to pop out, kill 4 enemies, then 4 more spawn in at the exact same time. Like, there aren't that many, like, staggered enemy placement patterns in this game. A lot of times it's really just 4 enemies pop in, kill them, you'll kill them oftentimes at the same time, and then 4 more will pop in. Or in this case, like right here, 3 more will pop in. And that's pretty much the first section. And so, like I mentioned earlier, this is like a hybrid of Turtles in Time. and this game kind of doing its own thing, and this is a perfect example. Like, this is stage 2 in Turtles in Time, but it's still technically stage 1 here in Hyperstone Heist. I love the music rendition on this one too, in particular. It sounds so good. It's got like this really twangy bass, and it's very it's got some really good low end to it. And of course, you've got those highs as well that the Genesis was really good at. And you got the old classic Konami stab sounds as well, which is always great. That was a Konami staple in the early 1990s. I mean, the Turtles games had it. Other Konami arcade games had it. Lethal Enforcers was another big one by Konami that had that same stab sound. It was like their signature sound. And hell, Sunset Riders might have had it too, for all I know. But yeah, we're just kind of like making our way through here. There's a car in the background there. Later on in the level, I think one of these cars actually drives out. Yep, just like that. That's actually kind of a classic Turtles trope from the Konami Beat 'em Up series, starting with the very first arcade game, which I think it was a 1989 release. This thing will let me spin around, kill everything in one hit. It's not particularly useful. It's pretty gimmicky. You know, as you saw, it only lasts a couple seconds. But we actually just killed our 100th enemy, and at 100 enemies, you actually get an extra life, which is good. So we've got 3 lives now. We'll see if we can get through this without continuing. That would be nice. Although when I was playing this last night on hard mode, granted, I did not beat the game. I got my first game over at Tetsu, which is one of the later bosses in the game, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna play something else. I just wanted to see how far I'd get on 1 credit. Hard mode is definitely a significant difficulty increase. I could see myself eventually 1 credit clearing hard mode with you know, some actual practice. But it is definitely a bigger challenge for sure. Enemies do a lot more damage on hard mode, so you have to be much more careful. But again, if you learn the slide move, you can really just do the slide all day long. Like, seriously, look at this. You literally just roll your thumb from C to B to A really fast. It's like, you know, you're just fanning the controller. And it's really safe, too. Like, these guys, you can try to attack them. It's not really worth it because it's hard to actually hit them. So what I recommend is just kind of staying out of the way with these guys. Ooh. So you just slide back and forth, slide back and forth. Gets, you know, honestly, it gets a little repetitive. It really does. But, I mean, the move is just too good. Like, if you want to try to get through this game without continuing, then, like, you really want to take advantage of it. So this is Leatherhead. And a lot of the bosses in this game are actually pretty simple to deal with. For him, you just kind of wait for him to bounce down. He's gonna go across the screen and just wait for his projectiles. And you just kind of like let him run into your attacks. Just like that. Whoops. Huh, he went upwards that time. Interesting. And that's that. So for the most fights, I don't really worry about using, like, you know, the running attack or anything like that. I always try to just attack regularly. Now, some of these later bosses in the game I'm probably not going to be too comfortable with because I haven't actually beaten this game in a little while. I think we might have beaten it on like a previous Genesis stream, which was probably at least 6 months ago as of recording this video. So I was actually looking at like my last Genesis stream archive here on YouTube, and I was like, whoa, this was 6 months ago. Okay. I apparently haven't done a whole lot of Genesis lately. But hopefully we can fix that. Which, having the quick play series actually helps that out a little bit. Because I can just fire up some random games and just play them and just kind of see what we do with them. These question mark boxes just give you points. And something I wanted to mention about points is the first extra life is at 100 points. I believe subsequent extra lives are actually every 200 afterwards, so our next extra life will be at 300 points. We've got these flying mousers. And I'm taking random hits, but that's okay. It's not really a big deal. There's gonna be some more pizza later on. Pizza gives you your health back. Now, I wanted to mention that you do have sort of like desperation moves in this game, which was kind of standard for beat-em-ups at the time, where you press two buttons together. I think it's attack and jump at the same time, and you'll do a special move that's exclusive to your character. However, it'll actually deplete your health bar, so I don't recommend using it unless, like, you absolutely have to. The thing is about this game, like, a lot of times you don't really need that desperation move at all, because, again, you can only have 4 enemies on the screen at once, so it's not like this ever gets insanely crazy or anything like that. And the one thing I used to do is just kind of, like, bounce back and forth between enemies, so if I have enemies on both sides of me, I just kind of go back, forth, kind of like this, right there. Now for this part right here, you want to watch out for like the little tape symbols on the planks. And if you touch those, you'll actually... a plank will actually pop up and smack you in the face. So, you do have to watch out for stage hazards in this game. There's actually quite a few over the course of the game. Notice that my slide actually went under his projectile, so that's actually really good to know as well. Now, one reason I'll keep using the slide is that some of these enemies have kind of dangerous attacks, like the blue sword guys will actually lunge at you just like that. And oh, I was right on top of that plank, the tape part. So he actually knocked me right on top of it. I couldn't actually dodge it. That was interesting. Oops. Still trying to get used to my controls here. So I am using a official Sega Genesis 6-button controller. It's my favorite way to play Genesis games. However, as an adult, my thumbs have gotten much larger than they used to be. So I have a tendency of like fat fingering buttons on this controller because the buttons are so close to each other. Whereas on like a standard 3-button controller, the buttons are much larger and spaced, you know, slightly apart. You know, the 3-button controller has buttons that better fit my my modern day thumbs. And so yeah, there are some downsides to using the old you know, 6-button here. Still love the controller, but again, like I said, I find myself accidentally hitting buttons when I don't mean to. Yeah, those guys are always a little tough to deal with, and I'm getting a little low on health right now. I really need some pizza, but I don't know if we're gonna actually get any. So let's just try to play it relatively safe here. Extra life. That was our 300-point extra life. And one thing I do love about this game, though, is just how, like, fast it is. It's like a very snappy game. Oops! But that was bad. Well, that's our first life. Right after I just earned an extra life. Yeah, and a lot of that is actually because, for one, I actually used my special on the previous section, which, you know, made me lose some health, obviously. But also that one blue foot soldier actually, you know, lunged at me, hit me, which did some damage, and then he made me land. Oh, and of course there's pizza right there. He made me land on one of those planks that, you know, popped me in the face. So with these guys right here, they actually block your attacks, but what you can do is actually do your slide, or your final hit of your combo will actually knock them over and do some damage. Go ahead and grab that pizza. Ooh, I wanted to actually grab this, but I mistimed that. Getting knocked over. When all else fails, slide. Wish I could do that in any game. Just slide everywhere, do tons of damage. I was gonna say that probably hurts their back, but now I just remember they have shells in their backs. Maybe that's why they can slide so well. Although you would think that they would like spin around. Alright, so this is Rocksteady, and you can just kind of jump over him after you do a combo. A lot of bosses are really simple in this game like this. However, he's gonna bust out his gun and start shooting at me. Looks like if I time this right, I might be able to just sort of get him in like a stun lock pattern. Not really stun lock, but you know, get him into like a nice little pattern like that. He didn't bust out his gun. I wonder if that's just completely random or if that's like a hard mode thing. Because he did bust out his gun when I was playing on hard mode the other night. Alright, scene 2. Scene 3, Shredder's hideout. So there will be no Shredder here. There will be Tetsu though. And this level is actually very reminiscent of the dojo level in TMNT 2, the arcade game on NES. Where you've got some stage hazards and whatnot. Bamboo poles popping out of the ground and stuff like that. Yeah, these guys actually die in one hit. Easy points, but they can be pretty dangerous. Fire in video games is usually bad. Now we've got enemies here now that are kind of like the dudes that pop out of the sewers early on in the game. Same mechanic, except now it's these stone tiles. Woo! Just slide underneath. Yeah, any enemy with a projectile, you can just slide right underneath their projectiles. It's kind of a nice feature. Alright, there we go, got him. More mousers. Now it's actually kind of nice, like the mousers, the little tiny mousers, they actually, you know, you can have more than 4 of them on screen, and they can be stacked on top with other enemies, so that's kind of nice. I do wish the game tossed in more small enemies like that, just to make it a little bit busier, like the arcade games. The arcade games had a lot more enemies on screen, especially, you know, Turtles in Time. And so that, you know, it makes the game more exciting. That's probably my biggest complaint with this game in particular, is the fact that you really only have the 4 enemies on screen at once. And a lot of times, like, you have even less than that. Now right here, you do not want to jump, because you'll actually hit those spikes on the ceiling. I actually tested that last night. And we have those, you know, bamboo poles I was talking about. So again, stage hazards on this area. But yeah, it's very reminiscent of the dojo level in, you know, like I said, TMNT 2, the arcade game on NES. Which is still a really fun game, you know, despite its simplicity. It's definitely one I still recommend playing. We actually did I think an NES variety stream a couple months back, and I ended up running through the whole game. Ended up beating the game too, I believe, which was pretty cool. I remember which stream it was. It was the, can we replay the Let's Play stream? So basically a stream where I tried firing up games I had Let's Played a long time ago. And, you know, to see if I could still go through them without really practicing them. And, TMNT 2, the arcade game, was one of those. It was pretty fun trying to do that again, having not really been warmed up on it. Just gotta watch out for these lasers. So my turtle actually just tried doing a back attack, and so that's something that you can do if an enemy is like right behind you. And it, you know, it's cool, but it kind of stops you in your place. And if you're trying to like combo another enemy that's like on the other side of you, it'll actually like interrupt your combo. and then you can get whacked by the enemy that's on the other side of you. So I sometimes will actually just turn the back attack off because of that, because it's more of a hindrance than anything, if you ask me. So it is nice that they actually give you the option to turn that off. Alright, boss time. Tatsu's his name. I called him Tetsu. Oh, whatever. So what I like to do is just kind of slide across the screen, and then he goes back to the other side, and then just rinse and repeat. Kind of like this. Whoops. Easy way to get points, though. He's almost dead. Like I said, you can just slide right under his attacks. Like, just about any, like, airborne projectile attack in this game, you can just slide right under. It's nice. Alright, this is gonna be the lead up to the Technodrome. So this isn't actually a terribly long game. Like, we're only 20 minutes in, and we're already on, I think, the second to last level. So this is like kind of like a boss rush in a way. We do fight enemies, but we will actually refight some bosses that we've already fought. So this is another one of like kind of the downsides of this game is that, you know, it's definitely not as fleshed out as Turtles in Time. You don't go to as wide a variety of places, which is kind of a bummer. But, you know, it's still an awesome game. It's still a fantastic beat 'em up for the time. And I recommend playing both Turtles in Time and Hyperstone Heist just to see like all the differences, see and experience all the differences. But personally speaking, I feel like Turtles in Time is just the much more fleshed out experience, and I think the overall better experience. But this is still an awesome game. See, Leatherhead again. And then same thing as before, just let him run into your attack. At least they palette swapped him. Whoops. But again, just a banging soundtrack in this game. It's just, the music is so good. It's very catchy. But also, like, the sound samples are really good. You know? Unusually good for Genesis. And that was, you know, Konami was really good at that. The Genesis sound engines were oftentimes, like, really solid. Alright, just jump over, attack. Try to do the same thing we did before. Just like that. Jump back. We'll see if he busts out his machine gun. Yeah, it's entirely possible the machine gun attack is just a hard mode thing. Which makes you want to actually try to go through hard mode even more now. I never did beat hard mode back in the day. I did try. Whoops. And failed. Oh, there it is. No. It's a normal mode thing. Okay. He just doesn't seem to do it that often. Because he was using his machine gun a lot when I was playing hard mode the other day. Bye-bye, Rocksteady. Now, it's actually been a while since I've beaten this game. I want to say, like, Baxter Stockman is the boss of this, this level. So, the fun thing about Baxter Stockman is that he's like a flying enemy. And you don't have a whole lot of flying enemies in this game. You couldn't already tell. So it's a nice, you know, nice dynamic to mix things up. There's the back attack. Oops! I ran right into that guy. I didn't think he was gonna punch me. I thought I could just go straight through him. See, now, yeah, my turtle tried back attacking again. I did not want to do that. I just wanted to combo the guy in front of me. So again, the back attack can be really frustrating. It just gets in your way. Getting wrecked now. But there's a lot going on. Alright, there we go. Still have 3 lives left. Half of my health bar left. Yep, Baxter Stockman. Very nice. This will be fun. So for this, you can just jump kick him a lot, if I remember correctly. Just kind of like bounce back and forth like this. And you can actually use this fight to grind out for points as well if you wanted to. A little baby jump here. Alright, come on, Mousers, get off me. It's back and forth, back and forth. He's almost dead. Hopefully he dies first. Okay, he died first, very good. That was actually getting kind of scary because I only had 2 blocks of health left. And a lot of times, even though I would hit him, I'd still land on a Mouser, destroy the Mouser, but still take a hit. So... Alright, Technodrome time. See, in Turtles in Time, you go to the Technodrome on like level 3 or 4, and that's like the beginning of the game. You get warped out and you start time traveling, and like 8 to 10 levels later, you end up back. It's crazy. Yeah, this game is much more straightforward in terms of like the level progression. It's just like, here's a couple levels, and you're at the Technodrome, and boom, game's done. That's got one of my favorite tunes though. Like I said, I love the soundtrack in this game. It's very good. It's catchy, it's also just, you know, it's bouncy. The samples are really good. I love the melodies and all that stuff. Alright, Mousers I think are gonna basically jump out. And this is, this is kind of like another reason to just rely on your slide, is just that back attack is really starting to get in my way at this point in the playthrough. Yeah, these bomb pizza boxes are really good against these guys. I can't remember what they were called. Were they like rock soldiers or something like that? It's been so long since I've really, you know, like, looked into Turtles lore. Like, enemy names and stuff like that. I used to watch the Turtles cartoons all the time when I was growing up. It was one of my favorites. So I was a big fan of the games. But that was a long time ago. And I don't really do much with Turtles anything these days as an adult. Just the old school games I grew up with. That's really all I still mess around with and play. I think enemies are gonna pop out from the walls. These are almost like garbage chutes, but for foot soldiers. Yep, okay. Yeah, destroy 4 enemies, 4 more pop out. Very, very basic stuff. Yeah, that's one of the biggest downsides to this. I don't remember if Turtles in Time was exactly like that, with like the whole 4 enemy limit. It's been a while since I played that one. But we'll have to rectify that and maybe do some kind of quick play on Turtles in Time as well. That'd be a lot of fun. That's definitely one where I feel like I'll have to go back and I'll have to like try to do a practice run or 2. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually one reason I'm doing this video right now, is because I am somewhat warmed up on it. So I was like, well, you know, I got through like half the game on hard mode. I can probably just like fire up normal mode and just go right through it without any issue. And here we are now. Yeah, one thing I like about some other beat-em-ups on Genesis, like Streets of Rage 2, is like there's definitely more variety in terms of like enemy placement and enemy counts and you know, on-screen enemy counts and whatnot. So while this one, you know, will likely never be replacing something like Streets of Rage 2 is like my favorite Genesis beat 'em up, it's still a great game. I still love it. It's easy to pick up and play. Maybe a little too easy, but it's still a great game. And watch over these lasers. Yeah, the rooms with stage hazards like this are probably the toughest parts of the game. Because now you have to not just juggle your 4 enemies, but you have to also juggle... Oops! Oops! You have to juggle the stage hazard. Alright, we got Krang. And Krang might actually annihilate me. We'll see. Super Krang. It's been a while since I've been here. I don't know how aggressive he gets. Just kind of like, I'm trying to dodge his foot. Yeah. It doesn't seem too bad, honestly. But I don't know how much, like, crazier he gets. Ow, that hurt. That hurt again. I'm not attacking fast enough. Like, I don't know, maybe I should be jumping, but, I don't know. I've also noticed, like, over the course of this playthrough, like, I'm not timing my, my combos fast enough. Whoa, there. Wow, I could not avoid that. Interesting. I got hit by the first one, and that was my fault. But then the second one just landed right on top of me when I was on the ground, and I couldn't do anything. He's almost dead. There it is again. Slide for the win. Ow. I slid right into him. Oh, man. Good old cheap beat-em-up boss design. You know, a lot of bosses in beat-em-ups will have attacks that come out in like 1 frame, and they're pretty much impossible to avoid if you're like right in front of them, so that's exactly what was happening there. Run right in front of the boss, get smacked down. Alright, so we have a little more. We have the obligatory beat-em-up elevator section. And then I think we'll be at Super Shredder. Just trying to save that pizza for when I really need it. So I have 2 lives left. It's interesting, the background is actually updating at a different frame rate than the foreground. That stuff is always like really jarring on my eyes. Alright, let's go ahead and grab that pizza. Of course, it'll be harder to tell if you're only running this video at like 480p, 30 FPS. But if you run it at 60 FPS, it's much easier to see, much easier to notice. Get more mousers. That was good. Just a quick left, right, 1, 2 over and over again. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if Raph is actually faster. I'm noticing Don, his movement is... I feel like it's a little bit slower than what I was working with last night with Raph. I don't think the attack power is really any different, though. Like, I could have sworn, like, Raph was actually physically more powerful in Turtles in Time. But I could be wrong. Like I said, it's been a long time since I played Turtles in Time, so... It'll be interesting actually going back to that. I'll have to try to do that sometime soon. Maybe, fire up the Mister. Load up that ROM. And give it a shot. Alright, that's that. Alright, Super Shredder. Now, if I remember correctly, he's actually not too difficult, but you do have to be aware of, like, his different colored attacks. One of them can kill you in one hit. Yeah, his red fire goes along the ground. Pretty easy to deal with. Blue is like an airborne projectile. Green, I think, is the one that can kill you in one hit. Yeah, he's actually surprisingly easy, considering what he is, like, you know, the final boss. Although I do wonder what he's like on hard mode. Maybe he's a little more challenging. And I think that's it. I think we just beat the game. Surprisingly easy final boss. I can see my house from here! And that, my friends, is Turtles, the Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis. Yeah, really fun game. That was actually fun going through that. I haven't, yeah, it's been many months since I've actually played through the entire thing in one sitting, so... Yeah, that was fun. I see Splinter there in the crowd. Oh, man. But yeah, really fun game. Can't say I really recommend paying for it in this day and age. I think it's like a $100 game now. For just the cartridge, it's pretty ridiculous. But it is a high-quality game. And I do recommend it if you guys haven't played it. It's a lot of fun, so... like I said, I'll have to fire up Turtles in Time here sometime soon. If you guys want to see a quick play of that, do let me know. Post a comment. And, yeah, I'll see about doing that. If there's anything else you might want to see me play, like in this casual format, let me know, and I can consider it. Preferably good games. I've had some recommendations recently for some truly awful games, and I feel like you guys just want to see me suffer. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, fun time here. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say, guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this casual playthrough of Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive. I'll have some more of these videos up here sometime soon. Hopefully I'll have some other proper tutorial Let's Plays as well up here sometime soon, so stay tuned for those. And of course we'll have our usual live streams and all that good stuff here as well. So, but thanks a lot for watching, guys. I guess until the next one, take it easy.